All right, welcome back, guys. We are now live. It's Saturday, college football. We'll get to that maybe tomorrow when we see what's going on. But today, I just want to concentrate and have a look at a few minutes of King Charles III's speech that he gave after we found out the news that Queen Elizabeth II had passed away. And what an awesome speech. And this is not exactly a eulogy speech, it's kind of halfway in between because he's still going to have to deliver an official eulogy. But in essence, it was kind of a eulogy while addressing the nation and the world essentially at the same time. And what a wonderful job he did. And I think this is important to have a look at. And I know this is a very uncomfortable topic for most people. They don't want to ever think about delivering a eulogy at their mom or their parents or whatever loved one that you're close to. It's uncomfortable to think about delivering something like this. But when we watch the couple of minutes that we're going to look at, there's a lot of key things to kind of enjoy and look at. This is such a great speech that he did. Um, and again, very difficult. Nobody really wants to prepare this, but I mean, just imagine if you didn't practice something like this and you go up there, even if you did have it memorized, you have practiced it, in the moment, in the situation, it's so heavy that you still might falter. And it is a job of the person delivering the eulogy to kind of calm the room down, just make it seem like everything is okay, while at the same time delivering the history of this person that's been on this planet. He just did an excellent job in in delivering all of those types of information. And you got to remember, when we're watching this, a couple things to remember is he's 73 years old. He's the oldest monarch to ever take the throne, and his mom was 96. They've known each other for an incredibly long time. And he's dealing with the loss of this person that's been in his life for his entire lifetime, as well as carrying the weight of England right now that's in a recession, or I don't know if they're actually in a recession right now, but inflation rates are extremely high, and they're going into a winter where there's going to be energy problems because of what's going on in the Ukraine. So he's got all of this weighting him down, and he delivers this gem of a speech. Again, not exactly a eulogy, but kind of is. Let's give it a quick listen, and just remember, these people, they have people writing speeches for them all the time. It didn't look like to me he was reading off of a teleprompter. If he did, I couldn't tell. But and it's okay. It's okay to remember a speech. It's okay to, in my opinion, know what you're going to say, remember what you're going to say, but at the same time, not make it seem robotic. And to me, when you remember a speech, you then can put in the emotion and the emotional investment that you want to, instead of trying to come up with something off the top of your head. So I think it's totally okay for you to remember a speech. The main thing to remember is to not make it seem robotic, so that you can put that emotion into it. Because I know a lot of people try to do it off the cuff, and that's where they get into danger, and that's where they start studying, stuttering, and coming up with things to say. And to me, that's what's the good thing about remembering. But again, just remember not to make it totally robotic. But let's have a look at this speech here. We'll just watch a few minutes again. Watch the transitions. Watch how he gets in and out of topics. Watch his facial expressions. It's just very natural. And the tone and the pace that he's presenting with this is how you want it to come across, transitioning from, in the very beginning, the life of Queen Elizabeth II, how important she was to the country, and then transitioning into what he's going to do, the promise to take care of the country, and then transitioning into his family life and how Prince Harry and Prince William, even extending to Prince Harry, even though things are kind of on the rocks with him, that everything is going to be okay with him, and then finally transitioning into the closing. So just kind of pay attention to how effortlessly he moves in between these topics while keeping his composure. And you can see that he's saddened by these things. But let's give it a good listen here. And hopefully my internet connection will hold up, because I just got the Wi-Fi is bad. All right, here is his speech here.
I speak to you today with feelings of profound sorrow. Throughout her life, Her Majesty the Queen, my beloved mother, was an inspiration, an example to me and to all my family. And we owe her the most heartfelt debt any family could owe to their mother, for her love, affection, guidance, understanding, and example. Queen Elizabeth was a life well lived, a promise with destiny kept, and she is mourned most deeply in her passing. That promise of lifelong service I renew to you all today. Alongside the personal grief that all my family are feeling, we also share with so many of you in the United Kingdom, in all the countries where the Queen was head of state, in the Commonwealth, and across the world, a deep sense of gratitude for the more than 70 years in which my mother, as Queen, served the people of so many nations. In 1947, on her 21st birthday, she pledged in a broadcast from Cape Town to the Commonwealth to devote her life, whether it be short or long, to the service of her peoples. That was more than a promise. It was a profound personal commitment which defined her whole life. She made sacrifices for duty. Her dedication and devotion as sovereign never wavered through times of change and progress, through times of joy and celebration, and through times of sadness and loss. In her life of service, we saw that abiding love of tradition, together with that fearless embrace of progress, which makes us great as nations. The affection, admiration, and respect she inspired became the hallmark of her reign. And as every member of my family can testify, she combined these qualities with warmth, humor, and an unerring ability always to see the best in people.
All right, we'll give it a stop there. You kind of get the picture for what I'm talking about there. Again, the pace and the tone that he's setting. I'm sure he's practiced this speech hundreds of times and it's been altered hundreds of times. But again, the mere fact that you're remembering your speech is a good thing because you can put that tone, you can put those nuances in there. You can see how much he's pained. And if you watch the rest of this speech, um, when he talked about Harry and the family, it really is touching. And the thing that I enjoy most about any culture or I guess any ethnicity is to hear how they call their mom and dad. Like for me, it's mom and dad, but he referenced to mama and papa. And I know that for some people that might sound silly, but coming out of a royal with that accent and that ability to sound so regal, still, it's a 73-year-old man, 73-year-old man referring to his mom and his dad as mama and papa, and just a very touching, well-informed speech, touching all the bases, giving again a eulogy is outward based. He's never calling it about me, me, me. It's all about her and how great she was in the beginning. And then, of course, now being king, transitioning over into assuring England that he is there to assume the role that she has, going to take care of everybody. And then, of course, the question is, well, what's going on with the royal family? He then addresses that and wraps it up again with wishing his mom a final journey into meeting his papa. What an awesome way to do it. So, again, just by looking at this speech, if you're afraid of thinking about performing or not perform, giving a eulogy, I shouldn't say performing because that's a really bad thing to say about a eulogy. But if you're afraid of it, practice it. So when you get to it, you'll know what to do. Your emotions will be under check, and you know what topics you want to cover, and it'll just be natural, like what this guy does, because it's not going to get any more pressure bound than what now King Charles had to do. Again, think about it. Known her 73 years. Now he's got the weight of a nation that is in a high inflation, energy costs are on the rise, and he's assuming the responsibility. This is all weighing on him, and he delivers this gem of a slash speech eulogy. And that's what you want to do for the loved one that's passing on, is you want to be able to capture the room, settle it down, and pay that person as much tribute as possible. And he did all of that while maintaining the weight of a country together. And for us normal people, if we can hold it together like King Charles did, we're going to do a good job. We're going to do a job. I heavily recommend watching the whole speech if you haven't done it. And Of course, we're not going to have the topics that he's going to cover, but if you listen to the transitions and how he talks into going from bit to bit to bit, if you do have to ever make a eulogy, or if you're afraid of doing it, you use this as your blueprint. You look at the tone, you look at the pace, you look at when he decides to look down, you look at the breaths he takes. You can see that sometimes he almost decides to cry, but he holds it back. That saying, that the English saying, keeping a stiff upper lip, that is exactly what went on here. He sucked it up, he got through it, and in turn, I think it was a wonderful speech. So if you're looking for some way, and you're looking for somehow some information on how to make a great eulogy speech, again, this wasn't a, he still has to give a eulogy speech, but this is the way that you want it to come off: confident, uh, very courageous, and giving people the information that you're okay, the family's okay, and and that everything is okay. Having, I mean, there, I was hoping there'd be a little bit of humor in it, but he, very dry sense of humor the English have anyway. But what a wonderful speech, and what a wonderful lesson for all of us to learn from when giving a speech like this. And when I had to do it for my dad, I had, as uncomfortable as it was when I gave the eulogy for my dad, I had been practicing it for a very long time when I found out that he had lung cancer. And from that point on, for about 10 years after he was in remission, I just gave it thought, like, what are the things I want to say about him? What are the things I want to, who are the people I want to bring in to be speakers? What are the things that I want people to know about him? And most of all, how to mentally prepare for something like this. And if you look at this speech, you just copy what it is, and you're going to be fine delivering your eulogy. Well, all right, guys, we got college football coming up here. NFL, full day of football on Sunday and Monday. We had an outrageous game. Bills, Rams just totally destroyed them. So we're going to see what happens both today and tomorrow, and then on Monday Night Football. Well, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick review of King Charles III's speech. And again, if you're looking to learn how to deliver a striker of a speech, have a look at that entire speech. It's about 9 minutes. All right, guys, have a great Saturday. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you later.